Cold plunges, nervous system resets, cortisol tracking, hormone protocols. The latest program, your friends swear, is completely transforming your life. Except when you tried the exact same thing, you actually felt worse. Yet there is a truth that protocols have quietly concealed. Every one of those protocols was built for a body type that isn't yours. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the 4 constitutional body types that ancient medicine mapped in detail thousands of years ago, and exactly how knowing your unique combination changes everything you do next. I'm Laura, a certified health coach and drugless practitioner. Some women are really frustrated carrying weight that just refuses to budge. They clean up their diet, stay consistent with movement, and their basic labs even look fine. Yet their body simply won't respond. The resistance isn't one size fits all. It's driven by completely different underlying systems. For one woman, it's a metabolic engine that runs too cold, a sluggish thyroid, and a body that stores instead of burning. For another, it's lymphatic and fluid congestion, waste and water that keep the body locked in hold mode. For someone else, it's poor mineral absorption, where even good food intake isn't actually assimilated. And for many, it's a dysregulated stress pattern, chronic cortisol levels, keeping the body in storage mode. The same visible symptom, completely different root cause. And that gap between the symptom we see and the terrain that's actually driving it is exactly where every generic protocol falls apart. So I started asking a question. What type of body is this? And what does this specific type actually need? That question led me to a system of constitutional health that is over 2,000 years old, used by Hippocrates, refined by Galen, and drawn upon by Carl Jung when he built his framework of 4 psychological types. A system built on the premise that your body has a specific constitutional terrain with innate tendencies around heat, movement, flow, and structure. And one important point, we all have 4 constitutional types inside of us. No one is purely one type. What matters is your unique combination, which elements are strong, which are depleted or in excess, and learning how to bring them back into balance. That's where the real lasting change happens. Modern medicine has mapped the human body at a cellular level in extraordinary detail. Yet, in perfecting our microscopes, we sometimes lost sight of the whole person. For thousands of years across Hippocratic medicine, Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine, healers organized the human body around 4 fundamental operating principles: fire, air, water, and earth. And these aren't literal, they are powerful metaphors that describe real physiological processes, how your body generates and regulates energy and heat, how it oxygenates and communicates, how it manages fluid and flow, and how it builds and holds structure. This system was the foundation of Western medicine for more than 2,000 years. Then, during the 19th century, it was discarded, considered primitive and pre-scientific. But here's what's great about the 21st century. Modern research is now uncovering physical structures that look remarkably like what these ancient systems were pointing at. In 2018, researchers at the Mount Sinai Hospital in New York identified what they called a new organ, the interstitium, a previously unrecognized network of fluid-filled spaces running continuously throughout the body. 3 years later, in 2021, researchers from Harvard Medical School and the China Academy of Chinese Medical Sciences injected to a group of volunteers a fluorescent dye into acupuncture points, and in 79% of cases, that dye migrated along the exact pathways that TCM has called the pericardium meridian. These findings show that ancient medicine described real physical territory. Before we explore any specific terrain, we must address something that the ancients couldn't have anticipated. Our modern environment has changed the signals your body relies on. So the first three non-negotiable moves are morning natural sunlight to set your circadian rhythm, blue light and bright light restriction after sunset so your body knows it's time to repair. And third, reducing unnecessary non-native EMFs, especially at night. These are the stable foundation everything else is built on. Now, the four constitutional terrains. As I describe each one, remember we all have a blend. Listen to which patterns feel most familiar in your own body right now. Fire. Fire governs your metabolic heat, digestive power, body temperature regulation, and the liver's ability to transform and detox what comes in. A fire-dominant pattern runs hot and dry, strong digestion, strong drive, burns through fuel very quickly. When balanced, you feel powerfully energized and resilient. When it's in excess, usually driven by chronic stress levels and high cortisol, you feel wired but tired, you carry systemic inflammation, get skin eruptions, heartburn, high blood pressure, and you cannot switch off until you crash. When fire is deficient, you have a metabolism that refuses to move, food that sits like stone, and poor detox, and fatigue that starts in the gut. Here's what most protocols miss entirely. If you have deficient fire and you start a cooling anti-inflammatory diet, you will feel worse. Not because the protocol is wrong, but because it was built for a body type that isn't yours. And if you have excess fire and someone puts you in a high-intensity training program to burn it off, that's not spending the fire, that's adding oxygen to it. Heat is a cortisol spike, a sympathetic surge, more heat in a system already running too hot. Excess fire needs to down-regulate, not burn harder. Air governs your nervous system, oxygenation, depth of breath and cellular oxygen exchange, and the speed and clarity of your internal communication. An air-dominant pattern lives in the mind, quick, communicative, stimulation-seeking. When in excess, it causes anxiety with no apparent source, a nervous system that cannot fully down-regulate scattered thinking, light and disrupted sleep, waking at 3 a.m. with the mind already running. When deficient, you get brain fog that no supplement touches and chronically shallow breathing you've stopped noticing. Take breathwork and meditation, two of the most universally recommended tools for stress and anxiety. For a deficient air type, conscious breathwork can feel like switching the lights back on. Give meditation to an excess air type and you've asked a spinning top to be still. Water governs your lymphatic system, hormonal tides, immune fluids, cellular hydration, and the gut's mucosal lining. The element of flow, reception, and deep immune intelligence. A water-dominant pattern is deeply feeling, intuitive, and retentive. When in excess, you experience bloating regardless of what you eat, weight without clear cause, sluggishness, and low mood. Immune reactivity, and that's frequent infections. When deficient, there's dryness everywhere, skin, joints, mucous membranes, and this one catches people off guard. Water excess types often worsen on high-dose probiotics, not because probiotics are wrong, but because you can't see a flooded field. Earth governs physical structure, bone density, mineral metabolism, the thyroid's role in calcium and energy regulation, and your gut's capacity to actually absorb what you feed it. An earth-dominant pattern is grounded, steady, and enduring. When in excess, the body resists all change, weight won't shift despite any intervention, stiffness, heaviness, and a metabolism that has simply gone offline. When deficient, you see poor absorption, mineral depletion that supplementation alone cannot fix, weak connective tissue, and a fatigue rooted in structural starvation. This is why that mineral supplement isn't working as you expect. It's not the supplement, it's the terrain. So once you know which elements are strong or out of balance in your unique blend, everything downstream changes. Your food choices, the way you move your body, which herbs and supplements actually work for you, how you structure your day, and even which mind-body practices calm you or energize you. Your constitutional terrain becomes the filter through which every recommendation should pass. What I've just shared is a constitutional map. It shows you which systems in your unique blend are the most likely to struggle first under stress, poor nutrition, or hormonal shifts. Instead of chasing symptoms, you start reading the patterns. You stop following someone else's protocol and you start building one that it actually matches your body. Now, I do very deep constitutional mapping with my private clients beyond the 4 constitutional types. It's highly personalized, and honestly, it's an investment. Not everybody is ready for that level yet, and that's completely okay. That's exactly why I've created Your Foundational Health. It's a more accessible starting point, your unique combination of terrains where you have excesses or deficiencies and the exact practices that help bring everything back into balance. If you feel like Your Foundational Health would be a helpful next step for you, the link is in the description. And if it doesn't feel right yet, that's fine too. Keep experimenting with what I've shared today and see how your body responds. When you understand your constitutional terrain, something finally settles. You stop treating your body and mind as separate problems, and you start seeing them as one intelligent pattern. One last thing, this video is for education purposes only, not medical advice. Keep working with your physician if you are managing any special condition. Constitutional work is upstream. It helps explain the patterns that create those symptoms. If this resonated with what you have been experiencing, send it to a woman who needs to hear it. I'll see you in the next video.